Hey, this is Dan Nine, your somewhat famous world touring comedian at www.comediandan.com and at comediandan on Twitter. So I'm in beautiful Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, having just finished a show for a bunch of people from Tanzania and Uganda and Kenya and even Burundi and Rwanda last night at the Hyatt Regency Kilimanjaro. Now, like your typical nerd, I'm not out there on the beach in this beautiful 80-degree weather, but instead I'm indoors doing a YouTube review of what I think might possibly be the greatest laptop ever known to man. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. This laptop is absolutely unbelievable. This is the new Samsung 15-inch, 3.5-pound Ultrabook laptop, and this is incredible. Now, I can't remember the name of it because it's somewhat complicated. This is the Samsung NP900X4B-A02US. Yes, quite a romantic name. And as you can see here, we have, let's take a look at the ports. On the left side we have the one USB, and then we have the headphones. Now you've also got these two outputs for network and VGA. You have to have dongles for those. It does come with the network adapter, but not with the VGA, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to go and get one because I do use PowerPoint a lot in my act. And then over here, you have two more USB ports, a 3.0, and then you have an HDMI port. Now having three USB ports is really, really important for me because I use one for the Logitech Anywhere Mouse MX, which is a fantastic mouse which I have to have, and then I always use the other port for my voice dictation, and I have a USB headset here from Logitech which I use. It's critically important, by the way, to have a USB headset for good voice dictation. Now let me go ahead and open up this laptop, and one thing that is amazing about this laptop is it does not get hot, which is unbelievable because my MacBook Pro, you almost could literally fry an egg because the underside gets so boiling hot, and you just cannot put it on your lap for any length of time without searing your thighs. And the same is true for almost every laptop I've owned. Acer and Lenovo and Sony's, they all get boiling hot, but not this one. Now, you're going to see how fast, I'm going to turn this on, you're going to see just how fast this laptop boots because of the built-in SSD. Now, unfortunately, it's only a 128 gig, and I understand they're going to come out with a 256 in a few months, but, you know, it's funny because the 128 is so little that it actually makes me discipline myself, and once I start to create content like video or whatever, I have to file it off onto an external drive, or if it's a document or photograph or whatever, I immediately upload it up to the cloud. Now you saw how quickly that booted. It took about 13 seconds. They claim 9.8, but I do have a lot of stuff in my startup, but that is just an amazingly fast boot up time, and I love it. Now, another thing I want to point out is this is a full keyboard. You've got the separate home, page up, page down, and end keys. Now what I think is a really inconvenient problem on a number of Ultrabooks, as well as all the MacBooks, no matter how expensive they are, is you've got to hit the FN and the up arrows, down arrows, left, right arrow to get page up, page down, home, and end. And I think that is a major inconvenience, and on this particular laptop you've got everything. It's amazing. And notice, by the way, I've put a couple of pieces of silver tape on here on my most used function keys. F9 for refreshing my Microsoft Outlook inbox, and then F4 because I use Alt F4 and Control F4 a lot to get out of keyboards because I'm a keyboard nut. I don't like using the mouse if I can help it. And another thing that's amazing, this is a very, very, very bright laptop. I can't remember the number of nits or whatever, but what's really cool about this laptop is it also adjusts the screen automatically for the lighting conditions. And I find that to be amazing because, okay, Avast is telling me it doesn't like a Bluetooth program from Intel, but I'll have to fix that later. But this is an amazing feature because it'll automatically adjust the brightness depending on the room brightness. So if you go into a dark room, then it'll make the screen a little bit less bright, and if you go into a bright room like this one here where we're dealing with sunlight, it increases the brightness automatically. And of course I can change the brightness by myself by using the function keys and so forth, which I'm doing here. And oh, one more thing before I forget. I forgot the AC adapter in the other room, but the AC adapter is the tiniest, thinnest AC adapter I've ever seen. I think it's like 4 ounces. It's the weight of a cell phone, and so that helps when you're on the road like I am so much. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start my favorite program of all time, Dragon Naturally Speaking, which allows me to do all of my emails and all of my writing on my computer. And this is something, of course, that the SSD helps tremendously in terms of speed. And so let's see here. Let's wait for this to start up. And let's see, one sec. Okay, there we go. And all right, so I'm going to, of course, load my my custom. Now, with Dragon, you only have to train it now for about 7 or 8 minutes, and then it is so extremely accurate, especially if you're using this USB headset, which you can get on eBay for maybe $19, or you can pay the sucker price at Best Buy for $59.95. And what I love about this particular headset is it is collapsible, and then it comes with a crush-proof case. And I used to destroy headsets before I had this one, which comes with the case. All right, so it's loading my user profile, and I'm just going to set this down just for a second while I put my headset on. And let's do a little bit of voice dictation. Now I use this key over here to activate Dragon. Of course, you can assign it to any key you want. Let me go ahead, turn Dragon on, and do a little voice dictation. Start Dragon Pad. This is a test of Dragon Naturally Speaking version 11.0 left paren, which I need to upgrade to version 11.5 when I get to a high bandwidth area, right paren, period. I'm using it on a Samsung 3.5-inch. Undo that. I'm using voice dictation on a Samsung 3.5-pound laptop with a 15-inch screen, the lightest 15-inch laptop in history, period. And once again, I think this is the greatest laptop that has ever been invented in history, period. Actually, that's a little bit redundant to say that has ever been invented in history, period. Select all. Set font size 48 points. Stop listening. And there you have it. I love Dragon, I love Samsung. This is awesome. Let me go ahead and check my Outlook inbox. Wake up. Start Microsoft Outlook. Click Inbox. Okay, and here's where you're going to start to see the speed. Now, I'm going to just go through my emails and just say, delete mail, next mail, so on. And here we go. Turn on Dragon. Next message. Next message. Next message. Next message. Previous message. Delete mail. Delete mail. Delete mail. So you can see how absolutely fast this laptop is in going through my email and so forth, and it's something, that deletion of mail and reading the mail, that's something that it would hang up for 5, 6, 7 seconds on each message, and now it's almost instantaneous. So anyway, there you have it. There's my review of the new Samsung NP900, whatever you call it. Quite possibly, once again, the greatest laptop ever made in history. This is Dan Ninen, your somewhat famous comedian at comediandan.com, and on Twitter at comediandan. Thanks a lot.